When it came to Shayna and I, we weren't just weird, we were evangelical Jesus freak weird. We were equally obsessed with Wuthering Heights and the gospel according to Mark, okay? And you see, we had heard about midnight movies before, but we'd never actually been to one. And we were curious to get outside of our little bubble of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And so that is how two conservative Christian teenagers found themselves at 11:50 p.m. on a random Saturday at their first midnight viewing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, when we go into the theater, we are immediately appalled. Our jaws drop to the floor because every single person, man and woman, are covered head to toe, full makeup, fishnets, high heels, honey, you know. And the first thing I think in my brain is, these people need Jesus. Yes. And while we are picking our jaws up off the floor, there is this woman with short red hair in a fully sequined outfit who tap dances her way on over to us. And you know what she does? She pulls a little red tube of lipstick out of her bra. And it's like she can smell the discomfort oozing out of our pores. And she looks at us and she smiles and she says, "First time?" We nod in absolute terror, mind you. And before we know what she's doing, she's put these little red V's on our cheeks with the lipstick. And she's ushering us into the theater. And there's all these people in fishnets and pearls behind us pushing in to get around, right? Now, the next few things happen in a very quick succession, so keep up if you can. There is this tall man with the largest heels, the highest heels I have ever seen, who comes to the front where the screen is. There's this little stage, and he says, "Bring up the virgins!" And we look around, and the crowd begins to push us out into the aisleways. And the next thing we know, we're up on the stage. And for the next 2 minutes, this man with the heels straps a plastic basketball hoop to my head and forces Shayna to try to shoot as many baskets as she can with the plastic basketball onto my head. I am mortified, okay? But I don't have very long to be mortified because the lights all go out, we're plunged into darkness, and the next thing I know, there is this music video playing on the screen, and it's this song by Tim Curry that I have never heard of before, and it's called "I Do the Rock." Right? And these people all start running in this giant stampede in a circle around the theater. And it's like a mosh pit, you know? And the high-heeled man pushes Shayna and I into this throng of people. And we have no choice but to run so that we don't get, stampeded on, you know, crushed beneath their feet. And when the movie finally starts, there's these shadow actors that are on the stage performing the whole thing and lip-syncing it while it's happening, right? We got all the cast of characters. We got the main stuffy characters, right? Brad and Janet. We've got the high-heeled man who is obviously Dr. Frankenfurter, right? And the audience begins shouting all of these things at the screen, things that I will not repeat on this stage unless I want to get canceled, you know? At some point in the evening, Shayna and I start doing this dance called the time warp, you know? And by the time we get to the entrance song of Tim Curry's Dr. Frankenfurter, and he says, "I see you shiver with anticipation." Everyone in the crowd is saying, "Say it, say it!" And I find myself shouting, "Say it, say it!" And when he finally says, "Patient," we all jump and we cheer, and something clicks in my brain, and I begin to relax a little bit. And by the time this whole story is over on the screen and Brad and Janet emerge from this experience, new and sex-positive and burlesque performing freaks, you know, I realize that in the metaphor of this movie and what's taking place, Shayna and I are Brad and Janet. You see, this was my first time brushing up against queerness. It was the first time that I saw sex portrayed not as this stuffy, serious thing from my evangelical background, but something that really wasn't a big deal, could be freeing, and in fact, could be funny, you know? And in this room with all these people, some of them my age, some of them a lot older than me, people who were just reveling in the ridiculousness of it all and being absolutely stupid, you know, together, I thought for the first time in my lonely, closeted Southern Baptist life, I found my people. I found my people. Don't dream it, be it is the thing that the cast says to the audience. And I really took that in. And for the next 4 years, once a month, Shayna and I would go to the midnight showings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Baxter Avenue Theater because it was church for us. Now, there are people in this day and age, the young'uns, right, who would say that there might be some problematic things about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, things like the consent of the characters or, you know, dated terminology. But for me, the Rocky Horror Picture Show was the place that I got to meet weirdos. And they took all those things that I thought I hated about myself, and they wore them like first prize ribbons from the Kentucky State Fair. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is the place that I learned to love myself. And with a little bit of lipstick and a lot of eyeshadow and that inspirational refrain of "Don't dream it, be it," I hope that tonight you can also do the same. Thank you.